condition and find out that he has an exaggerated form of Werner syndrome, 9-month-old baby. Karen must have cheated on Brian with Superman clock that measures our lifespan and controls our growth. Jack's clock will turn into a fully grown 40-year-old man by the age of 10. The parent full-grown man at the age of 10. Although his appearance affirms otherwise, as he could definitely kick a 10-year-old bully's ass. The neighbor kids who have homeschools him every day. He is the only person who is close to Jack, other of the giant 10-year-old. To mess with them, Jack throws a gooey eyeballs to Karen and Brian that they send Jack to school. Karen being the protective one, but the parents are still against the idea. In the evening, Jack about him during the day. Karen assures him that he is as normal as any kid disturbed by Jack coming to their room, wanting to sleep with them because he had a nightmare. Karen packs him food and they make their way to the school. They meet the principal, who then introduces Jack to his teacher, Miss Marquez. Jack shyly enters the class to the kids and asks him to take a seat. Jack then sits on his seat, wakes it, and the kids laugh even harder. During recess, the previous day, watch him in fear, believing that he will probably beat them. Just then, a rival group challenges them for a basketball match. After he sends them away, the basketball lands near him. He picks it up, clearly feel bad for him. Jack sulks when he returns home and doesn't eat. He makes Jack understand that the children at school will eventually open up to him. With him, Lewis and his friends are challenged to a basketball match yet again. He scores the most and makes Lewis's team win for the first time. Jack, because at this rate, he'll be dead by 20. And, because of his special, asks him for another favor. He wants him to pretend to be the principal, but Lewis doesn't give him time to explain. Dolores arrives at the school and she talks. Jack only gives her one-word answers. He ends the conversation sometime. Lewis thanks Jack for having his back and takes him in his great day. On the weekend, Lewis knocks on his door and invites him for a sleep that Lewis and the group hang out in. The other kids do not want to let Jack and accept him into the group. They talk about girls and alcohol and have outside the box that Jack often plays with and tells her that their kid growing up the group. They hang out at the treehouse almost every day, go trick-or-treating on Woodruff into the treehouse, and lets him in the group after making him eat he starts to lose hair and go bald, because of which he uses black gel, married by 28. But when Jack does the math, he finds out he can only marry to be his date for the dance. As she tries to explain they cannot go together, so they cannot go together. She apologizes to him, but he breaks down. His parents come running, worried for their son. The doctor claims that Jack's body has many years left to live. After returning home, Karen tells Jack he begs Brian to let him go back to school, but the parents know they cannot allow that. The name of a club on it. He sneaks out for the first time and visits. She tries to make out with him. Jack remembers she is still his friend's mother and making the guy punch him in the face. At the end of the night, Jack ends up in jail. 2 weeks have now passed since the incident. Jack has been sulking in his room. Jack to come out of his room. Jack talks to him and says that he doesn't want to learn house, to call him out to play. The next day, Jack gets out of him back. 7 years later, Jack and his friends are at their high school graduation short and urges them to make their life spectacular. Subscribe.